ultimately why she won't give it me in writing. My contract doesn't say, well, my contract says you won't give it me in writing. Any overtime worked will not be given back in like extra payment or time off in lieu. Say, well, so she would be reversing that and actually then saying, you work overtime, you go back in time off in lieu. But because of the amount of time I work over, I'd be having half the year off. if I pushed it, but I wouldn't push it. So really, she has to trust me now. So it's a two-way street. She has to give it me in writing. I'd be having half the year off, and then she has to trust that if I pushed it, but I wouldn't push it. So really, she has to trust. I'm not going to take the piss, which I wouldn't do. So I'd still carry on as I am doing like the hours over, but I'm not going to start going, well, I did 12 hours there and I did 14 there and I did 16 there, that's another day off, which I wouldn't do. Do you know what I mean? I'd still carry on as I am. I wouldn't really do it, but hours over until she gives it me in writing. I did 12 I think it's point of principle. So I just need to make sure that I'm right by saying that, because which I wouldn't do. I don't want to back myself into a corner where if I say no to this, she's going to try and twist it to make it look like I'm refusing to do my job. So I just need to make sure that and it's not refusing to do my job. I'll happily go down and work alongside him, but I will not work through the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I would be travel down on a Monday. I'll work Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll travel back on a Thursday. I'll return back on the Monday, and I'll do it that way. I will not work. And I'll say, well, you didn't get me in writing, so I've followed what my contract says, and I think I'm right in saying that I should do that, and that's why I said in my initial email to her, I'm not being awkward. I'm just telling you my thoughts and feelings of what's happened and going forward, what I would, what I like. I've not demanded anything from her. All I've said is, if you want me to work this shift, these 10 straight days, then give it me in writing. And she won't. She's saying that I'm attacking her integrity and intentions. It's like, I'm not even doing that. Stop changing the subject. And I'm like, well, I need my sister's opinion on this, because A, she's a girl, and B, she's knowledgeable of hate. It is, because they think different to us. So I need my sister's opinion on this, because A, she's a girl, and B, she's knowledgeable of hate. Well, my sister nailed my ex. They think different to us. So. Well, I mean, my sister nailed my ex bang on when I was getting twisted and really upset about it and what she was doing, and then my sister jumped in and was like, X, Y, Z, and then she just, what I mean? She straightened it out and said, this is how it has to be, Richard, blah, 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 and, And it was the same with John. I conferred in my sister with John, and she just said, no, this is the law that's broken, blah, 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 confront him. And I did, and it put a stop to it. And then he left 2 weeks later, which was a bit of a coincidence. Yeah, he left, but my sister said that he will have left through basically somebody above him would have nudged him, because I wasn't very quiet when I was confronting him about altering my contractor employment, which he did. So I was like very vocal in head office, and there were a few directors that heard me. So my sister, yeah, but that's what my sister said to do. Don't let him take you into a meeting room on your own. Do it with others around you so they witness what the conversation is. And the strange thing was, 2 weeks later, he just left. Maybe that's why I'm getting shit off Anna, because Michael is the link between John and Anna. And obviously Michael continued working through the company, and he took a dislike to me because we didn't really get on. And he's probably said to Anna, "Oh, you got to watch Richard. You got to do this. You got to do that." And he's probably fed her propaganda, and now it is affecting our working relationship, and it will always grind until I smash the hell out of it and clear all the air and just say, let's just clear the air on it, because you treat me like a piece of shit, you treat me second best, and there's no need for it. So, until that kind of happens, I think it's just going to continue. Because it blows hot and cold. I mean, I saw her when I went back to head office today, but she didn't come over and say hello. If you want an answer, if you want an answer out of your engineer, you go and say hello to him, don't you? You go and ask him to his face. "Oh, did you get my email earlier? What's your answer?" But she didn't want an upfront face-to-face confrontation. She didn't want that. So I watched her and she saw me unloading van, and then she skipped into head office. She just went into head office and just stayed out of the way. So,
stand by for examination and suggested products.
Like I said, that's why I've not responded to her email. So,
stand by for examination and suggested products.
Like I said, that's why I've not responded to her email. So,
stand by for examination and suggested products.
Like I said, that's why I've not responded to her email. It's hard to say because an email is electronic and it can delay getting somewhere. It can. No, seriously, it can. I've had up to 3 days wait for an email to come through. And even then, it's taken me because this did come up about Anna before Christmas. She was accusing me of ignoring her emails and that. And I were in head office, and I just put the phone straight down in front of her desk, in front of her, unlocked it, and I said, "You have a look at the emails then if you think I've got them." Anyway, she looked a bit shocked. And I said, "No," I said, "Go on." I said, "You're accusing me of ignoring your emails." I said, "So have a look if I've got your email." Anyway, she had a look in the email box, in my inbox and that, and her emails weren't there. She said, "Oh, you probably deleted them." I said, "Then check in the deleted folder." I said, "Because it keeps hold of them, does it not?" So anyway, she looks in there. Didn't find them. Savannah sent me an email. I found out this after, but Savannah had been listening to conversation because she sits next to us, and sent me an email, because obviously my phone would have gone off if it received an email, and it didn't go off. And Savannah then piped up going, "Did you get that email?" I said, "What email?" She goes, "Oh, I just sent you one." So Anna's still got my phone, and she went, "No, that hasn't come in." "Oh, maybe there's a problem with your phone then." And that's when I said to her, "If you want to know something, why don't you pick up the phone and ring me?" I said, "But emails and text messages never get through sometimes." I said, "Because my dad is a maintenance engineer for these switches where your emails are rerouted." I said, "And sometimes they've got the servers offline and the switchblades are offline or the generators failed." I said, "So your email can be stuck waiting at that link site until you ask for it." Anyway, Anna did a send receive on emails to try and pull them down, and it pulled down Savannah's one that she sent and a couple of others to do with head office, but not hers. And she goes, oh, that. Anyway, she turned my phone off and turned it back on. Then all of a sudden, 36 emails came down, of which were hers, some of hers. But she never apologized. Because I said to her, oh, so that's your email you're talking about then? And she just shoved phone back at my face. You know, she just shoved phone back at my hand. And that were it. She's never apologized. I thought, yeah, you haven't learned grace yet. You don't know when to. So, like I said, email, because you can't guarantee it's got there. Whereas a phone call is different. Right? If somebody rings me up and I ignore them, that's different. But although she never worked out, I put her on the block list on the phone for a while over Christmas. She never worked that one out. But yeah, I don't know how to take her. That's why I need to speak to my sister. She never worked that one out. But yeah, I don't know how to take her. That's why I need to speak to my sister. Everybody handles everything differently, but that's why I've tried being upfront with her and said, I'm not arguing, I'm not being awkward. This is my past experiences, and this is what I'd like. Is in writing that you're going to give me the days back, and she won't do it. And it's not questioning anybody's integrity or intention to do that. I even spoke with a manager at a different firm today at the wholesalers, and he even said, as a manager himself, he even said, but every worker's got the right to question any manager. So why has she got a problem? I said, you tell me. Yeah, yeah. Egotism. Mm. Yeah. Um, um, mm, Egotism. Egotistic. They think they're God. You have to do what they want. And it's like, well, just give it me in writing. One paragraph on an email. That's all it'll take. No, no, because that's what I was saying to you earlier. As soon as I get that in writing, she knows she's altered my contract in her eyes to then screw her out of every bit of overtime that I start doing. But it's like, well, if you trust me, you know I'm not going to do that. I just want it for the Exeter job because it's 10 straight fucking days. I'm not going to then start using it against her for every bit of over. Oh, I've done 5 minutes over there. I want 5 minutes back. You know, I'm I'm not that way inclined, but I'm kind of testing her resolve in a way. The fact of I see that she doesn't respect me if she hasn't given it to me. Oh, I've done 5 minutes over there. I want 5 minutes back. You know, so I'm not that way inclined, but anyways, what shall we going to tackle? Anyways, what shall we going to tackle? Are you broadcasting without my permission? I've got rights to that, you know. Are you broadcasting without my permission? I've got rights to that, you know. Yeah, you need people's permission. Oh, it don't matter that now. That's starting to end. The days of the internet being lawless are now ending. Yeah, because it's the same as putting a YouTube video up of yourself and then slapping a song over the top of it. It's copyright. And it's the same with people's voices. It's copyright. Yeah, because it's the same as putting a YouTube video up of yourself and then slapping a song over the top of it. It's copyright. And it's the same with people's voices. It's copyright. Yeah, because it's the same as putting a YouTube video up of yourself and then slapping a song over the top of it. It's copyright. And it's the same with people's voices. It's copyright. I'd fall asleep if I know the actual button for falling asleep one. Ah, that's bullshit. I'd fall asleep if I know the actual button for falling asleep one. Ah, that's bullshit. I'd fall asleep if I know the actual button for falling asleep one. Huh? I don't know what you're broadcasting on. Yeah, you know what happened last time I booted quick shit with Star Boy. I don't know what you're broadcasting on. That's because it was playing mine to play yours, to play that, to play mine, to play yours. Because it's one of those mirrors in a mirror, vortex in a vortex, circle in a circle. That's why you get that. It was playing mine to play yours, to play that, to play mine, to play yours. Because it's one of those mirrors in a mirror. I thought you were actually looking for a way to kill that boss. That's why you get that. What's it called? I thought you were actually looking for a way to kill that boss. No, what's the mission called? Summit Station. What's it called? Oh. No, what's the mission called? Summit Station. Oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, no, 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 no. First 5 things have come up saying it's bugged. Oh. Oh, oh, oh. Somebody's tried it 4 times, both on Republic and on the Empire side, and he's not beaten it yet, and he wants to know why. Somebody's tried it 4 times, both on Republic and on the Empire side, and he's not beaten it yet, and he wants to know why. No, they said there were just one of them and a healer. We used to be able to have the healer within 30 meters of the tank, but outside of the boss's AU or stun. But no matter what we try, the healer gets the stun. No, they said there were just one of them and a healer. Seems that recently there's a bug on the bonus boss. The healer within 30 meters of the tank, but outside of the boss's AU or stun. But no matter what we try, the healer gets the stun. Seems that recently there's a bug on the bonus boss. be a different mission. Must be a different mission. Yeah, that's what I thought, but how they're talking about it is a little bit different. Right, I've gone into a stream and I'm looking at it, but yeah, that's what I thought, but how they're talking about it is a little bit different. Right, seems like it needs a healer, but the healer needs to be at a distance. Seems like it needs a healer, but the healer needs to be at a distance. Hammer Station is only one of them. That's the only one. Because as far as I know, there are no other two-man flashpoints, which I think is a shame as I play with my hubby most of the time. And the first one was nice to do together. You may be able to do Hammer Station with companions if you're careful and have decent gear. The only thing I remember being a problem is the last boss. You get ads which can be a pain if you don't kill them quick, and the boss puts mines down that could kill your companion due to them being a bit thick and standing in every bit of AOE. You get ads which can be a pain if you don't kill them quick, and the boss puts mines. I say go for it anyway. The harder it is to do something, the more rewarding it is if you succeed. AOE. You get ads which can be a pain if you don't kill them quick, and the boss puts mines. I say go for it anyway. He got through it. To do something, the more rewarding it is if you succeed. He's just replied to us saying, "Thanks, Bones. We'll give it a shot. Appreciate the last tip on the last boss." And then he's replied. About an hour later, he's replied to it saying, "We got through to the last boss. Problem is the guys he spawns stops me from DPSing and my friend can't heal through all the damage. Our tank pet keeps getting killed, stands in the direct fire from the boss, and it's all downhill from there. One more try and we're going to give up." Stops me from DPSing and my friend can't heal through all the damage. Our tank pet keeps getting killed, stands in the direct fire from the right, and then somebody's responded to him. Trick is when he does his pistol sweep, make sure you take the aggro of him. I think that's supposed to be off him. Instead of your tank companion. I assume Keelio. Trick is when he does his bounce field, where you can knock off from. Huh? Somebody can't type. Is to put Keelio on passive. You will return at your side, not attacking. If you attack the boss, the aggro will transfer to you, and you will be the target for the sweeping blasters. This way it targets you, and you can easily avoid it by walking around him. Since it's a fixed position he is doing the sweep on. Then simply let Keelio attack again, taking the aggro off you. Rinse and repeat. Targets you, and you can easily avoid it by walking around him. Since it's a fixed position, he is doing. So basically, what he's saying is, and simply let Kilo attack again. You let your tank pet go in and take the aggro, but as soon as he starts his firing attack, since it's a fixed, you put them on passive. So basically, what he's saying, and you walk around him out of the way of the attack and attack him, and then as soon as he finishes, put your pet back on attack, and then let the aggro go to your pet. Yep. Yep. When he does his special firing blaster thing. Yep. Yeah, but you walk around him. You don't stand in front of him. No. Right. So we obviously need a tank. Right. Well, they're supposed to take the aggro up until the point that the boss does his special. Then you have to be quick to get him off his attack back to passive, so then he moves out the way and you run around so he follows you because they stay at your side apparently, and you attack him from behind while he's doing his special attack. Right, well, no, because there's somebody here now that's got a different thing. Most flashpoints can be easily done by two players, especially if the players are performing the tank and heal roles. Just let the companions DPS, though even then you may still need to micromanage them at times. It's an interesting thought. No, it said just at times you might need to do that. But it basically says that one of you should be the tank, one of you should be the healer, and your companions should be the DPSing. Which is right, because as a tank, you should be able to manage yourself better with your heals rather than them. Battle Lord Crescent, that's what he's
You are fit
called.
for duty. Return to your post.
Yeah, I got thrown out of that. Right, so yeah, the Ewok final boss. Basically, he summons two enemies at regular intervals, like we know. He uses
Yeah,
a
I
bullet
got
spray
thrown out
attack
of
on his primary target.
Right.
The
So
bullet spray is a thin cone that hits multiple targets
the
in
Ewok
its line of
final boss.
fire, which we know. However, Crescent
Basically,
doesn't
he
follow
summons
his
two
target
enemies at
after
regular
casting
intervals,
it,
like we
which
know.
means players
Yeah,
should
bullet
step out
spray.
of the line of fire as quickly as possible. Crescent also throws several red markers on the ground that players should keep out of. Running while he casts the red markers generally helps you avoid the quite large initial damage of it. That's what we're killing us then. When the boss calls out for reinforcements, it helps for healer and DPS to run to the tank and AoE the adds down in one location. At other times, players should avoid standing behind or in front of each other to reduce damage from Crescent's bullet spray. Players may want to avoid standing close to the windows, as they may get thrown out of them and end up outside of the flashpoint. Bit brief, but